Hey everybody, and welcome to another Latitude live stream. Today is actually Monday, the 24th of November. We're actually going to pre-record this one because this week is a Thanksgiving break for those on our team here in the United States that are celebrating Thanksgiving. And so for all of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. So we want to make sure that this live stream becomes a regular thing. And so we're going to try to do this once a week. My thought right now is to have this be every Thursday afternoon for me. And we're going to try to establish a regular schedule so you know what to expect and you know what time to tune in. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about our office. Where does Latitude work? How do we collaborate? And it's a trick question because we don't have a specific office. Latitude is fully remote. Our team is distributed across the globe. We have people in all across the United States, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Italy, I think Belgium is one, Portugal. We really are spread out all over the place. And that is both exciting because it means that we can find great talent no matter where they're living. It also presents challenges. And if you've never worked on a remote team before, it can be a little unfamiliar and it can be a little difficult. I happen to love remote work. So I'm a big fan of it, but it can be an adjustment for people who are new to that. So I want to kind of walk through 3 key tools that we use that help us stay on track with each other, stay aligned, and help us really build the best version of AI Dungeon and Voyage that we possibly can. The first one I want to talk about is Notion. And Notion is, for us, kind of the operating system of our company. We use it to track all of our work, both from a task management perspective, but also from a research and communication perspective. So, one of the things that we believe in deeply here is we have a very strong written culture. So any project that gets picked up, we have to think about why we're doing it, what the parameters are, what the constraints are, what the strategy should be. We need to evaluate all of the different possible solutions that we could take, and we need to evaluate why we're going to go a particular direction. So we tend to be very thoughtful and analytical, and we try to write all those things down here in Notion so that we can collaborate on them as a team. So, as an example, I've been working on some of our launch strategy around Voyage, and we've been considering, for instance, working with external groups like PR agency or maybe some creative groups, and I've been trying to understand how that could fit into what we're doing, and so I've defined a few principles of like what I believe we need to consider as we're thinking about this, the specific strategy that we want to work with them, and between under each of these, there's specific details, and you can see that there's comments coming in from people like Ryan and Parker that are commenting on specific things. So this can be a very useful way for us to collaborate on projects and documents, and it helps us go from an idea into a really refined plan and strategy. So that's number 1. Number 2 is making work visible. And we talked about this a little bit last time when we went over the bugs, but we want to make sure that all of the work that we track is visible. And the reason that matters is if we have people working on stuff that isn't in Notion, it makes it really hard for us to prioritize one thing against another. So we're often looking at our list of projects and we're saying, okay, based on who's available and how big these projects are, which things are the most important, and how do we make sure that we're delivering the most value to our players with the time that we have. And so we get really, really kind of scrutinous. Is that a word? We scrutinize deeply which projects are going to make the cut. But you can't do that if people are working on things and it's not captured. It's something that Ryan talks about all the time, make work visible. So Notion is one of those tools that we spend a lot of time inside of to help us collaborate. The second is Slack. And so we use Slack for, in particular, we use it for real-time communication. So, here we have our AI Dungeon channel, and we have the latest bug triage report coming in, but we also have a number of other channels related um, to Voyage. We have some for the code that is being committed. We have a community team channel. So obviously a number of different channels that span all the different parts of our business. And this helps us with more real-time chat. So very similar to how, if you think about like Notion being a little bit more like Reddit, where it's sort of asynchronous communication, Slack is definitely more synchronous communication. It allows us to chat. So, often, many of us are in Slack a lot of the time answering questions and working with people to figure out projects that we need to get done and coordinate. And Slack is great for that. So that's the other tool that we use all the time. The third one is we use something called Gather, and Gather is something like a digital office. And let me turn on my little camera and stuff here. Let's see. Let me turn these on. So in Gather, you can see here I have a little avatar and I can walk around. So we actually have like different meeting rooms that we can meet in as a team. Every morning we have what's called a stand-up meeting where we have a stand-up meeting for the platform team who handles AI Dungeon, a lot of the community things. We meet up here in this large room because it's usually quite a big team that assembles. And so we'll come up here and meet. All of us have our own individual desks as well. So this is my desk, or my lack thereof. I like to be reminded of nature and other people. So this is Philippe's desk right next to me. He's got a few things, and people are able to customize it, make it their own. And this is kind of fun because it makes our remote office feel more like a real office. The other nice thing about Gather is it lets us like quickly just pop in and have discussions with people in a more casual way, where Zoom or Google Meet, you kind of have to set up the meeting, and it's kind of heavy. This is lightweight. So for instance, if I'm going to go pop over here and see if Nick is around. Nick, are you around?
I am indeed. What up?
Hey, Nick. I'm actually doing a little live stream right now for the community, showing them around Gather. So
Oh, so fun.
yeah,
Welcome, everyone.
figured we might as well talk to Mr. CEO himself and see what you're up to.
Yeah, I feel shy. My background is not as exciting as yours. I, alas, have no murder shed, but maybe one day I too can be as cool.
Yeah, it's takes a lot of work to get this level of decoration, high
You know,
class.
we can all just aspire to be a little more murdery in our lives,
It's
right?
true. Well, last time, I don't know if I told you this in the last live stream, I actually did like a little murder shed.
I saw.
Uh,
I was like, I like popped in for 5 minutes and I saw you like showing off your little mini chainsaw.
yeah, I didn't do that yet. I should, let's see, what other instrument should I show? Maybe this week will be the rusty hatchet. Will be the
Ooh, the rust really adds an extra dimension to it. Like it adds like some real like authentic color, you know? Like is that rust? Is that blood? No one knows.
yeah, it's unclear. It's unclear. Yeah, no, I definitely keep a collection of murder weapons available just in case there's other murder clowns or something that comes up on the property.
Honestly, Devin, if there were like a vampire attack, you would be a great person to have. Like the whole Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer. Like you would like fulfill that societal role extremely well.
Yeah, well, here's hoping we get that chance, right? So curious if there's anything interesting you're working on that you might want to tease for the community while you have the chance.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have something fun to tease. Mostly right now, I'm working on our headcount and scaling plan. So I don't know how much the community knows, but like we've scaled a lot in the last year. We're up near we were at like 12 to 15 full time the start of the year, and now we're up to near 30. So it's a lot of growth, and we're gonna scale probably a lot more over the next several months. Just because like transitioning from, just doing a dungeon to doing Voyage. Like there's a lot that we want to do, and we're really excited about building, a lot of really cool things. And so, anyways, yeah, that's one of the things we're working on is figure out, what are the right people we need. How do we get them? How do we make sure we scale effectively so it helps deliver more value for, all of our players? And not, over aggressively, because I think that's something that can cause issues for companies when they are sort of like overextend and build too bloated of a company. Like one of our principles that we're really passionate about is like having a really high talent density, which means just having like a smaller but just really strong team who are passionate about delivering value, and excited about what we're building, and are just like smart, agentic people who are just gonna like build awesome things. So it's one of these things that like you don't see as much from like an outside perspective, but it matters a ton. Like I think when we have the right team, that all translates down to like better product, better user experience, and the things that make AI Dungeon and make our products more fun for everyone to create and play on.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing it. It's been nice that we've been able to hire because, I mean, I remember not too long after I don't know, the first year or so after I joined, I don't think we hired hardly anyone. There was a moment that we were even struggling to stay alive. So the idea that we're able to now have enough, I think our product has gotten better and we've had more people come, more people subscribe, and it's allowed us to reinvest back into the team so that we can build more features and develop Voyage and build all this cool stuff. It's really a great. Uh, it's nice to be in this phase versus are we going to make it phase?
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. And I think we have a much stronger team than I think we had, several years ago. And it's really exciting. Like it's honestly like super fun. Like I love everyone we work with, and we've got a lot of just like really bright, passionate people. So
Yeah, it's true. Everyone. I'm excited. I think over the next few live streams, I think we're going to introduce more of the team to the community. I'd love for them to see, especially some of the new hires that we've made. A lot of them joined because they were so excited about AI Dungeon, and
yeah,
I think what's been cool is a lot of the people that we've ended up hiring are people who have reached out directly to you or to others and just said, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Is there any chance I can be a part of it?" And it's funny how those people have ended up. It feels like we've had better success with those people when we hire versus like trying to work through a recruiter or trying to kind of put out job listings. We haven't had as much success with those routes. And it's interesting how people that are like genuinely excited about what we're doing tend to work really well here.
well, it's like even the people that we do recruit out of like recruiters, the ones that have done really well have been the ones where like, maybe they didn't know what we were building before we talked with them, but once they saw it, they were like, "Oh, I get exactly what you're doing." Like Philippe's a good example. He's our front end lead on Voyage. And we interviewed with him, and we are like, "Oh, this guy's really smart. He's super like, like a strong systems thinker, very obsessed about what he does." And initially, he actually said no. 'Cause he's like, "Well, there's this big new opportunity with Microsoft, and a bunch of other reasons we won't get into." Um, but we jumped on a playtest of Voyage, then we Heroes at the time, and he playtested it, and he was a huge like World of Warcraft nerd. Like he got so obsessed in it early on, and we are like, "Now, Philippe, like, do you understand like this? Like, imagine the World of Warcraft version. Like, this is what we're building to in the long term. Is this like rich open RPG world where you can do anything and be anyone and create them for any genre, right?" Um, and like as soon as I said that, you could see like his eyes go wide, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And like you could see him get it in real time. And at that point, like there was like, there was nothing stopping it. And so, yeah, I think it's like especially where we're in a very early stage, like I think I think more people understand like the power of what AI can bring to games, than they did like a few years ago. Like I remember early on, like no one really got it. Like we were sort of this weird pariah in the wilderness who are like, guys, just imagine the future when you have these experiences where you have like this full freedom and creative agency. and like you can immerse yourself in these worlds, and like and people just didn't really get it. People are starting to get it now, but it's still early. Like I think still people a lot of people are kind of hung up on the wrong things. They're focused on, like, oh, we can make assets faster. Like, okay, cool, but like there's already a lot of games with a lot of assets. Like, do we really need 30% more with like 10% worse assets? Like, it's not really that compelling, for gamers. But I think having new types of experiences where you can like genuinely do like things that were never possible before, like that's really powerful, and I think more people are starting to see that and like catch on the vision. It's still very early, but I think yeah, I think more and more like what is now like a very early adopter group is going to expand, and more people are going to realize like just how powerful what games of the future will be like because of like what we can do with the same paradigms that AI Dungeon and Voyage demonstrate.
Yeah, being AI native is different than trying to adapt AI into an existing sort of like AAA style game experience. It doesn't it's different, and when you're native to that, you think about problems differently and experiences differently. I think that's part of what is taking people a while to
Yeah,
figure out, because it's just you have to kind of it's a different mental model. You have to like reframe how you even approach game design altogether.
yeah, and it's like they're trying to make like, they're adding like a little garnish, like AI is like a little garnish on top of a thing, right? But like, it doesn't really matter if the garnish is like it's nice, if there's a garnish, but like if the base dish you're putting the garnish on is bad, the garnish doesn't make it better. And if it's great, I mean maybe the garnish adds 5% extra, like, oh, that's nice, but it doesn't like fundamentally change it. Whereas like what we're doing is like we're inventing a brand new type, like we're inventing pizza for the first time, and like no one's ever had pizza before, right? Like that's sort of what it's like. Is like we're not just like throwing out, like we're not just sprinkling some cheese on your pasta. Like we're inventing pizza. Is this like sort of a better analogy? And it's harder, right? Like inventing a new thing is so much harder than just like adding a little dash of something in the existing product. But I think it's also adds way more value to the world because it like is something fundamentally new.
I think we need to steal that for a marketing campaign. We invented pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, I don't want to bug you too long. Just wanted to come say hi.
Yeah,
I was
that was
just
great.
going, maybe I already said this. I'm getting old and I forget. I was just walking through the Latitude office, since I don't know how many people know that we're a fully remote team. And obviously it just takes a lot of good practices and tools and process to make remote work. And so I was talking about like Notion and the written culture that we have, and Slack, and being communicative, and then obviously Gather for sort of the face-to-face stuff, and how it kind of is allows us to do more informal meetings like this that aren't really meetings, they're just come bug you at your desk sort of thing that you don't get
Yeah,
with other tools. So hopefully gives people a sense of how we operate a little bit here. So
yeah,
that's kind of the
totally. I
goal.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. Thanks, Nick. Don't want to keep you too long. Appreciate you.
awesome.
Okay, see ya.
All right, see ya.
There you go. So there's a little preview of uh, how Gather works. It's awesome. It's fun to just be able to pop in and say hi to people. Um, you know, if Ryan is here, this is Ryan's desk. I can go say hi to Ryan. So I like to bother him. Um, you know, surprisingly, Ryan's desk is quite sparse. I guess he's really cutting expenses wherever he can. Those pixels are pricey. So anyway, yeah, here's this is sort of the full kind of Latitude remote experience. It's really a blend between the it's really sort of a blend between, oh, interesting, my webcam kind of resized. It's a blend between the sort of written side, where we're kind of asynchronous, which allows people to do deep, thoughtful work, and that happens here in Notion. Then we have sort of the asynchronous, real-time-ish chat happening through Slack, which works really well. And then, as you saw with Gather, this is for how we do our team meetings. This is how we kind of jump in and see what's going on. A lot of times if you zoom out, it's late in the day. There's I'm on the West Coast. We have a lot of East Coast and European teammates, but there'll be a lot more people in here, and you'll see people in conversations, and you can kind of say, "Huh, Nick and Ryan are talking. Maybe I'll go see what they're up to," and you can jump in. So it just allows for more of that more organic conversation. We are starting though to develop stronger presences in Utah. So we have, I think, three, maybe no, I think it was three. I think we're up to 5 people now that live in Utah. So we also have one of our investors' offices in Utah. So we've for the people that live out there, they're starting to meet every now and then, maybe once a week or once every other week, just to get together in person in Utah. We're also developing a bit of a presence in the San Francisco Bay Area. Nick lives out there. We have a few developers that live out there. We're actually looking at renting an office in, I don't remember the city. I think it's maybe Palo Alto area. I can't remember now. And me and Ryan and Colby and a few others, we often travel. We try to get down there once a month or once every other month, just to be around the kind of Silicon Valley area. There's a lot of good networking. There's a lot of good talent out there. Through some of those network connections, it's helped us to make a better product. We went to lunch once with another team that's making an AI product, and we learned a little bit about using multiple AI models to reduce the number of repetition. And that was the start of what eventually became the dynamic models that we offer today. So that sort of Bay Area presence is also something that we're paying attention to, because we want to make sure that we're positioning ourselves in a way that we can continue to have a good touch point of great ideas and great thinking that can go into what we're making and what we're building. So that's a little bit of our office and our work culture. We'll do a little bit of a shorter one this week, and after the break, we'll pick up again and hopefully have a little bit of a longer one that'll be fully live, and we can interact and ask more questions. And again, please feel free to reach out, Discord, Reddit. Let us know what kind of content you'd like to see more of, what sort of behind the scenes things that you're interested in, and we'll be sure to get that on the agenda for future ones. But once again, for those of you celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. And if you're not, it's good to celebrate being thankful anyway. An attitude of gratitude is a good personality trait to have. So really appreciate all of you in the community. We appreciate you helping us continue to build and to make AI Dungeon and Voyage as great as we can. We've made a lot of progress in the last week on stability and bugs. We're probably going to open up the closed beta for Voyage here in the next few days, or maybe early next week. So getting things on track for releasing that early next year. We're excited. Cool. I will wrap up, and I will see you all next week. Have a good one.